5 areas where you could start make a difference this week, next week, and actually start to have this kind of conversation with the organizations you're working with. So if we just consider 5 areas, this could be where you could show the contribution you could make and directly link sustainable performance to winning more work or retaining customers, or at the very least, just building a much more profitable relationship with your existing customers. So let's take the first one, waste. Something that affects every business, of course, and it's suggested that at least 4% of any company's turnover, depending on size, will be affected by waste in some way. If you could eliminate that, it will go directly onto the bottom line. So what companies here can do is to look at the materials they're looking to use within their whole life cycle of activities, the energy they use, the fuel, even the paper. If you can find ways of just doing things in a slightly different way, you can offer that as part of your value add, the process innovation you can bring to a top level customer, and the ways in which you can help them achieve the kind of targets they are setting for themselves over cutting waste. Going on for the second area, looking at areas like operations, you remember I mentioned that economic stability and economic success is a key part of a balanced sustainability strategy. Well, one of the key factors on buyers' agendas is the economic and financial stability of their suppliers. Public bodies like Highways England, for example, are putting this so clearly in their decision-making criteria. They want to see and work with suppliers that they know are going to help see them through and are not going to suddenly find economic and financial issues downstream. Particularly in a post-pandemic world, sadly, of course, it is really key to demonstrate economic and financial stability and to show how those risks are managed. If you go back to our Thailand example, that's not just finance, that can be how you will sustain and keep up business operations in a continuity issue as well. So ways in which you'll keep operations running and turning through to support a larger organization. The third area I want to touch on is risk. I've already mentioned modern slavery, of course. Sadly, the UK, for example, is quite a significant area of potential concern. There are suggestions of up to 136,000 modern slaves, and that's really issues around the ways in which people are paid, the conditions they work in. It's one of the hottest topics on board agendas at the moment because of the level of risk and the focus, and it should be. It should be something that we shouldn't see in a modern age. So there is a significant risk to reputation from modern slavery, as we saw in a couple of examples there. But if you think about pollution as well, the fines for pollution and environmental issues rose around 6 times in the 5 years up to 2018, and they've continued to rise, and rightly so, because people need to be held responsible for their impacts on the environment. But in many cases, those impacts and those risks are in the supply chain. So once again, you can see if you can demonstrate how you can deliver pollution-free operations, deliver ethical trading, eradicate modern slavery. These are all directly linked to a top-level customer's reputation and will build that idea of winning more work. The fourth area to touch on is demand, because of course, for many consumer companies or many organizations, anyone with customers, they're often being asked by their customers, they're certainly being asked by their investors, and often by their staff as well. They're being asked, what is it that you're doing to make sure we are trading sustainably, building a better future, and making sure we minimize our impact? So there is significant support from this across client agendas and consumer opinions, and it's base level expectation in a lot of ways that you'll be able to contribute to that if you're looking to do business with another company, to help explain how you will support the demand that they're being faced with for a more sustainable trading. And the final area just to touch on is stories. Now, we all survive on stories, of course, as society, as people, and we've been doing this since the very earliest days of civilization. Stories are what link us to the ways in which our world turns and the way in which we work. So case studies, ways in which you can demonstrate social value, and smaller organizations are often the direct link for a larger company with the communities that it serves. So they're the ones that understand it. They're the key to engagement, if you like. So as a chief sustainability officer, I needed suppliers to bring real stories that understood local issues and made things different in a better way. So stories really do underpin sustainability because they can help to inspire and lift the whole team. In the essence, really, sustainability can be and should be the golden thread, if you like, that links sustainability-focused enterprise companies with their suppliers and their contractors. These are the sorts of things that you can build mutual partnerships around. You don't need to do it all at once. You don't need to understand everything. But if you just take this simple 5-word mnemonic here, you can see why sustainability goes beyond just words, but you can use words, waste, operations, risk, demand, and stories to be the best place to start, if you like, with more sustainable business and hopefully to win more work.